Hey friends, Alvin here. We are continuing our series of interviews with various youth leaders across CBOQ. And today I am pleased to be joined by Sergio Espinoza, the youth and family pastor at Harmony Baptist Church in Hamilton, correct?
That is right, Alvin.
Great. Well,
Good morning.
welcome, Sergio. Thanks for joining me here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And so one of the first questions I've been asking almost everyone is this. Given that this has been happening since March break, what are some changes that you've been noticing in your youth, in your students over the last few weeks?
Well, over the last few weeks, the one thing that is concerning me is that some of them are starting to feel restless, frustrated, and as well, the ones that were moving. This is like in a specific group, the ones that were supposed to be graduating this year and they were preparing for their big day and looking at dresses and or plans and stuff like that. I think they're the ones that are struggling the most because for sure they're not going to have that graduation event. And as well, some of them, they're not even sure if the program that they have chosen is going to start as normal in September. So I think I have seen a little bit of frustration, tiredness of being secluded, I guess, and as well a little bit of fear of the unknown of what is going to happen, next school year.
So how are you finding that how are they either reacting or coping with all those different emotions?
Well, I was talking to one of them specifically not too long ago, and it's interesting because she actually said that she has experienced fear and she's getting frustrated about the isolation. So emotionally, she's dealing with a lot of stuff. But it's very interesting that she actually said that that it was good at the same time because this situation had brought her closer to God. That she was not the typical one that will be reading her Bible every day, but now she's getting back to, that's her words. I'm getting now back to the Bible. She bought some elements to help her with that. So she's saying that, she's going back to God and as well, she was regretting not doing that before, when everything was okay. And I was telling her, you know what, I think we are all in the same, that when everything is okay, we forget about God. And then in things like this, we have the tendency to come back and to really be seeking more of Him. So yeah, in a way it's good, but difficult and a challenge.
Definitely. And so for yourself, I mean, over the last few weeks, I'm assuming that you're not necessarily leading youth ministry in the way you normally would or have done in the past. How have you found your own job change in terms of responsibilities or how you're using your time? What's changed in your life?
Yeah. Well, I was talking to my wife and as well to the lead pastor, Pastor Eldon, and I was saying that I feel more exhausted now than before, because before, well, you were at the office, you did all the stuff that you needed to do at the office, and then you went back home, and then you kind of like really make sure that you were taking a break. But now it seems to be that from early in the morning to late at night, I'm always working on a project or something different, or I'm always trying to make myself available because I feel that I have to compensate, not being at the office as often. And because we have created some new projects as well that I'm not very familiar with, like YouTube and Facebook videos and recording the message and editing the message and all these kind of things that before that was not part of my job description kind of thing. And so I'm learning a lot, but I have found a little stressful. And it's, it comes to a point where you feel, okay, now I feel like I have nothing to give. Like I need I need something to be able to give something. So yes, I think I'm at a point where I'm feeling exhausted, tired. Yeah.
So I guess even for yourself, how are you learning to differentiate some of those, I guess, some of those boundaries, or maybe even some of those rhythms?
Yeah, pushing myself on. I mean, recognizing that that is important to rest, and that is
Mm,
important to walk away from everything. That has been the number one struggle and realization that even Jesus in the worst times, he took time apart and aside. And once again, I was talking to my wife because now I talk a lot to my wife than before, because before we never had the time. Now we get to spend a lot of time together. Talking to my wife, I said, yeah, we have to learn from him, because he, in the worst of times, he always took the time to walk away from everything and to spend time alone. And so, it's simple things like throwing away the phone, um, even if when you get a message and you like want to answer right away, and just convincing yourself no, and just forcing myself to take those breaks away from everything has helped. And the same, I have um yeah, I'm gonna say that again. So want to go back to that. One of the things as well that I'm doing, I have been I'm trying to be very um, um, disciplined in having my daily devotional. That's another um, lifesaver, that God has provided me to stay afloat. Um, Keeping with my devotional and my Bible reading every day. Because in the past, there's always excuses why you didn't have time to have a time alone with God. Now there's no excuse. So being kind of like pushing myself in that direction as well, and that has helped a lot.
mm, that's great. And so, no, that's definitely a great reminder, right?
Hmm.
In the midst of this, ways
Hmm.
that you're learning and how we can continue to not just cope, but also, as you said, how we can be recentered, right, in Jesus. And that's very helpful.
Hmm.
And so, over the last few weeks, what are things that have maybe changed that have either invigorated you or motivated you or inspired you?
Hmm. Um, I've been doing for the last couple of weeks these little Zoom interviews with people in our community, and as well kids from our youth group. It's kind of like I call it the morning show kind of thing, and it's been fun, but as well as being exciting, and it has inspired me learning more about them.
Mm,
Um, Learning how God has been a big place, or taken a big place in their lives in the last uh, 40 days or so. So yes, it has been very fun, but as well, it has provided me with a lot of inspiration and motivation to keep on going, because I have seen or I can see, or I can hear what God is doing in people's lives in different scenarios.
yeah, I think I had a chance to see some parts of Lance's interview with you,
Oh yeah,
and so that was fun. That
he's
was
great.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Lance is a great guy.
Yep. Sounds like it. I don't know if I've ever met him though, but definitely got to hear some of the story, which was it was neat to. I think it's neat that you've got this platform where, that you've got different people in your group who can share different parts of their life
Hmm.
in a little more of an in-depth, intimate way, right? So that's definitely been cool to see.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, very cool.
And so, I mean, it sounds like you've been learning lots of different things over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
What's something that you've learned that you want to make sure you hold on to even after some of this reopening, or even after the curve flattens, or in the coming months? What's one skill or insight that you just want to make sure you hold on to going forward?
Yeah, it's funny because we were talking about this with one of the church leaders, and we were discussing that we cannot go back and be the same. That the way that the culture was going, it was going to be into more of an electronic type of culture. Even the older generation, not only the kids but the older generation, and that there's a lot of value to have a presence online, which in the past we neglected. It was just our biggest platform was Facebook, and just posting announcements of what was going to happen during the week. And we have learned the value of having, a YouTube presence, the value of recording video devotionals to share with the kids throughout the week. And so we can stay connected, not only when it comes to the physical gathering of the Tuesday and the Wednesday or the Friday, but that throughout the week, whenever they're feeling at the lowest or at the highest, or when they want to share with a friend something that click, they can go back to the YouTube video that we presented for that day or the last week, and they can share. And as well, we noticed with the older generation, like the moms and the pops and even the grandpas, that they have been, it has, what we have been doing in YouTube has given that freedom to them to share with their neighbors, when before it was a little more awkward. Hey, come to my church. But now they can say, hey, look at this video on YouTube that my church has. And so our people, our subscribers for the YouTube channel have grown crazy in the last, crazy for us because we started with like a 60 number, and now we're over 100. So we were like very excited. Wow, this is a lot. Yeah, it's growing. And as well, we have the YouTube channel only for kids, which as well is another crazy adventure. And people are sharing those videos with friends and family. So I think that is a skill that we're learning. Now that we're becoming YouTubers or nothing, but the ministry value is great. And I think it's an easy way for us to reach out in the I don't mean easy way in the to say cheap way, but it's a great way to continue communicating within the community and reaching out to the community. If that makes any sense.
No, it does. I think I think there's definitely, and so wondering how have those conversations been like at a higher level? So whether with your senior pastor, whether it's with the elders, other church leaders, what has that conversation been in terms of what might the ministry at Harmony look like in the coming months, maybe even the next year and a half? What's that conversation been like?
Well, the number one is that we recognize that we need to keep up with the YouTube channel that we created for the church, and the different levels: the youth, the kids, and the adults. That we need to continue producing material for those YouTube channels. Another thing that we are realizing, that when everything goes back to normal, if that is ever like the normal aspect comes back, that more than likely there's going to be a percentage of our people that aren't going to come back for whatever reason. Maybe they found another source of inspiration or something. So there's a good possibility that a percentage of our people are not coming back to our church. And so that's another thing that we are understanding and that we're learning. And then the third thing is that we need to invest more in our presence online. So being more direct, I guess, or have it as a specific ministry with people that are work on that. So those three things are the conversation that we have been having.
Okay, nice.
Mm-hmm.
As we're coming near to the end of our interview here, what's a word of encouragement or a word of wisdom that you would offer to those who are listening or watching right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, that no matter what, we know that this too will pass. And I know it's kind of cliche and stuff, and you see it everywhere. But to be honest, that has brought comfort to my heart. To keep repeating myself, no matter what happened after, we know that this shall pass as well. That God has every. He's still sitting on the throne, and He has a plan overall, and He will guide us and He will direct us to be able to navigate in the waters of whatever challenge is coming up next after this, goes down. So that is that's what brings encouragement to my heart, to know that God is still in control no matter what, and that He will continue to guide us in the direction that He wants us to go if we choose obedient and sensitive to His voice. Yeah.
No, those are definitely great reminders for
Hmm.
us. And so, Sergio, thanks for your time here. Appreciate your
Thank you.
thoughts. Appreciate you sharing things that you've been learning yourself, but also things that Harmony Baptist is experiencing together. So, thanks for
Hmm.
your time.
Thank you so much, Alvin, for having me. It was great fun.